Now let's continue this last part of this particular chapter. You can see here, which is incorporating working capital. अब वर्किंग कैपिटल लेते क्यों हम लोग बिजनेस में इज नथिंग बट सपोज जब कभी भी कोई प्रोजेक्ट हम शुरू कर रहे हैं, suppose we are already running a business, and in that running of a business we are starting a new project. Now if you are starting a new project, for that particular new project you need to have some working capital in hand for it. Now if you are having working capital in hand for it, that will ease on doing that, मतलब वो थोड़ा ज़्यादा आपके हेल्पफुल रहेगा आपके बिजनेस करने में. जैसे कि यहाँ देखिए, if an investment increase during the project, the increase the relevant cash outflow. The investment in decrease in the project decreases relevant cash inflow. अब यहाँ पे ये देखो कि जो है सो फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट ही आप जो है सो वर्किंग कैपिटल ऐड करते और फिर वो प्रोजेक्ट होने के बाद वो वर्किंग कैपिटल आप निकाल देते. Calculate absolute amounts of working capital needed in each period. Work out the incremental cash flows required each year. मतलब कि कैश के रिक्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से ये मालूम होता है कि हमको थोड़ा और ज़्यादा कैपिटल चाहिए था. In fact, if you look on to it also more, there are many banks which are offering loan for working capital. Working capital loan की तरह लोन देने तैयार है. In fact, as far as what I remember, last time when I was working in an organization, I had applied for a loan for working capital itself. Working capital loan ही हम लोग अप्लाई करे थे in Dubai. So in that time when we were about to apply for this working capital loan, what we had our discussion with our finance and management. Management is nothing but the main operation team. I advised to them that there were many debts in the organization. Around 500,000 we wanted a loan. We wanted a loan of 500,000 to just get started. So what did I advise in that organization is that this 500,000 loan which we have to take, or this loan which we are taking, we need to make sure that we do not use this amount in repaying our debts. You must not repay our debts with this amount. With this amount what we need to do is nothing but make our work going on, मतलब हमारा काम चलाना चाहिए इससे, rather than repaying the debts. Because if we repay the debts, then we are having nothing in hand and we are not even having a function or a cycle which is going on. And if a cycle is not going on, then how are we going to repay it back to the bank? Understanding, guys? So this working capital was required for that particular place, and it will be required depending on what all you would be doing, what all organizations you would be working in. But what happened that time is we did that same thing. We did not repay our debts. We focused on generating more revenue from the business. With from generation of that revenue, we can pay off to the loan also. We can pay off to the debts also, and that's what we did. Chalo, now we have another question for this working capital. You can see here. Uh, Calculate the working capital flows for incorporation into the NPV calculation. A company expects sales for a new project to be $225,000 in the first year, growing at 5% per annum. The project is expected to last 4 years. Working capital equal to 10% of annual sales is required and needs to be in place at the start of each year. So, what have you understood from this question? Please tell me. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll start solving this question now. अब यहाँ पे क्या करेंगे, तुम लोग भी यूज़ कर रहे हैं क्या ये मोहम्मद मोहिउद्दीन? हाँ. All right. So now what we'll do here is, does anyone want the opportunity to solve this question first of all? Does anyone want this opportunity to solve the question first of all? जल्दी जल्दी जल्दी. Anyone? No one? Fine, no problem. I'm here anyhow to take this into consideration. So now what happens here is a company is expecting sales for a new company to be 225,000 in the first year. So first year is going to be the same, and each year it is going to grow for 5%. So what I'll do directly here itself, I'll put down equal to this multiple. Sorry. multiplied by
multiplied by 5%.
5% plus bracket में
Amount.
the same amount,
Yes.
and then equal to this multiplied by 5% plus bracket this amount, close bracket, done. फिर इसी को ही जो है सो fine. First of all, we got to
Yes.
know how much is it growing on with. Now when we've got to know how much it is growing on with, we get to know that how much is the
Working
required.
capital.
So first of all is equals to this multiplied with 10% is equals to this multiplied with 10%. अब इसको मैं नीचे तक ड्रैग कर लेता हूँ. अब यहाँ पे मैं इसको ड्रैग कर लिया. वी गॉट टू नो हाउ मच वी इट इज रिक्वायर्ड. अब हाउ मच इज रिक्वायर्ड ये तो मालूम हो गया, लेकिन इंक्रीमेंटल कितना है. सपोज ईयर 1 में मैं 22,500 ले लिया, फिर ईयर 2 में एक्स्ट्रा कितना चाहिए मेरे को, इक्वल टू दिस माइनस दिस in incremental investment. Here is equals to this minus this. Sorry, control Z is equals to 24,806 minus 1125 minus 22,500. 1181 incremental. 3 equals to 26,000 minus 11 minus
That's right.
1125 minus 22,500. Done. 1240 incremental. Fine. Everyone there with me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. यहाँ पे सपोज अगर हम लोग नेक्स्ट ईयर का अगर देख रहे हैं तो वी नीड एन इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑफ कंप्लीट 26,000 which is coming in. Fine. Done with the problem. Hello guys.
Yes, sir.
I want you guys to do this touch understanding 8. Then here is nothing but laying out long
पर
NPV
लेकिन
questions. Huh?
अब लोग एनपीवी नहीं मालूम करे ना 7 में,
1 second.
BYU 7 में.
एनपीवी मालूम करना नहीं है यहाँ पे.
अच्छा.
अच्छा, आउटफ्लो क्या है यहाँ पे देख लो, क्वेश्चन में कहीं तो भी है.
अच्छी बात है.
नहीं दिया.
नहीं दिया वो, मालूम करना भी नहीं है यहाँ पे. बस क्या होता कैश
बराबर.
फ्लोज एक्सेट्रा, एडिशनल कैश फ्लोज कितना हो रहा है, वो तो इतना हो रहा. एडिशनल कैश फ्लोज कितना हो रहा है, एडिशनल वर्किंग कैपिटल कितना होना जरूरी है, बोल तो इतना होना है. ठीक है.
Okay.
अब ये जो है लेइंग आउट लॉन्ग एनपीवी क्वेश्चंस, तो आप सब चीज का मतलब एक समरी है, ये प्रोफार्मा समरी कि क्या क्या करना है आपको. देखें, नेट ट्रेडिंग रेवेन्यू, टैक्स पेएबल, इन्वेस्टमेंट, रेसिडुअल स्क्रैप, टैक्स रिलीफ ऑन टैक्स अलाउएबल डिप्रिसिएशन, वर्किंग कैपिटल एक्सेट्रा इस सब चीज़ों का है यहाँ पे. सो नाउ what is to be understood right now for you people is nothing but go through all these questions again and again. The better you go, the better it is for you.
सर वो उस पे अपडेट करना था एग्जाम किट.
कौन सा?
क्लास प्लस पे डाल देना एफएम की एग्जाम किट.
अच्छा, एफएम की एग्जाम किट ना, असल में मैं एक बार चेक करता हूँ, उसके बाद मैं आई विल अपलोड इट. Now dealing with questions with both tax and inflation, what you have to do, see, tax and inflation very important here. Last point, then we'll end this session. Combining tax and inflation in the same question does not make it any more difficult than keeping them separate. Questions with both tax and inflation are best tackled using the money method. Inflate cost and revenues where necessary before determining their tax implications. Then ensure that the cost and disposal values have been inflated before calculating tax allowable depreciation. Always calculate working capital on these inflated figures unless given to you. Use a post-tax money discount rate. These are the guidelines which you have to use while solving these NPV questions with all these tax, inflation, working capitals, receivable values, tax payables. These are the things which you guys need to take care of. Now what I want you guys to do is nothing but today and tomorrow, जैसे कल class है नहीं, परसों class will continue. What I want you guys is nothing but we have completed these 4 chapters. हमारे हमारे 4 chapters complete हो चुके हैं, लेकिन 4 chapters के पूरे problems complete नहीं हो चुके हैं. So I want you guys to complete these 4 chapter questions. Test your understanding सी करो अभी के लिए तो. Though we have solved it in the class, I want you guys to do it once again. You do it with yourself, with your independence. जब आप वैसा करेंगे ना, then you will have the knack of doing it again, knack of taking on more new questions at once. All right, fine. If you're having any doubts, you guys can ask me tomorrow, today, Monday, anytime you can ask me your doubts, and I'll be there to answer it. Fine. 4 chapters done. With more 2 chapters, we'll be done with the complete investment thing. Fine. I'll end the session then.